Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I have some MMA news. There has been a new addition made to the UFC 229 fight card, which is headlined by the Khabib versus McGregor lightweight championship fight. The matchup that had just been recently added is between former lightweight champion Anthony Pettis and former interim lightweight champion Tony Ferguson. This is a big matchup, and potentially one of these two fighters can act as the alternate if either McGregor or Khabib pulls out from the main event. It would most likely be Tony Ferguson stepping in if someone falls out of the main event, as he was set up to challenge for the title before suffering an injury, tripping over a wire. He never lost his interim title in a fight, and is still riding the longest winning streak in lightweight history, like UFC lightweight history. But now, to bring the focus back onto this matchup, I think it's a very good matchup, like a very good style matchup, and it's an interesting matchup. Tony Ferguson has been calling for this matchup for years, and you could tell there's a lot of respect on his end for Pettis. Because maybe at one point he looked up to Pettis, like maybe that's where all the respect comes from. He saw him as somebody he looked up to, somebody he wanted to be like, maybe somebody he wanted to surpass, and maybe that's what this fight means. It's like a passing of the torch, or I don't know, even though they're around the same age and stuff. But yeah, he was interested in this fight when Pettis was the champ, and when Pettis when Pettis lost to Dos Anjos, he was still interested in this matchup and calling for it. So he called for it before, when Pettis was he was interested in the matchup, when Pettis was champ. When he and at that point, Ferguson wasn't really doing the best in his career when Pettis was champ. But around the time when Pettis lost to Dos Anjos, Ferguson was building up that winning streak and looking good and rebounded and reinvented himself, improved upon his stuff. So I don't know, it's a lot of interest in this fight. And now I think he's interested again in this matchup now that he's seen that Pettis has managed to get a good win, get back on the winning side of things. And he jumped at the opportunity to face Pettis. Now on Pettis' end, I'm not too sure how he feels about Ferguson. He knows if he can beat he could beat Ferguson. It puts him directly in line for a title shot. Not directly. He still has to wait behind Poirier maybe and somebody else, but it puts him in a very good position in the title picture. And of course, he's confident. He still believes he's the best, as he should. If you're still competing to be in the UFC and you're trying to be the UFC champion, you got to believe you're the best. And I think he has always been confident. He's still confident, especially coming off a good win, got a good finish over a good contender. The style matchup, let's talk more about the style matchup. Let's talk more about the matchup in general. As far as that go, I think it makes for a competitive fight, an exciting fight, though MMA math and recent resumes comparisons would say that Tony Ferguson is a clear favorite to win. But as far as I'm concerned, I see it as a 50-50 fight. Tony Ferguson is not an imposing wrestler, nor is he necessarily a hard-hitting pressure fighter. So I don't see him as Anthony Pettis' weakness, or what has caused Anthony Pettis trouble in the past or in his career. Tony Ferguson does utilize a lot of pressure, but his pressure is kind of like awkward, herky-jerky type of pressure, not like a solid pressure. So I don't see him I don't see him as Pettis' weakness. And I think Pettis has a very good eye for herky-jerky type of awkward fighters, as he's been Ben Henderson's kryptonite. Ben Henderson was a top fighter, still a top fighter, but he has a very awkward style and does things, a lot of unorthodox things and stuff. I'm not saying that Ben Henderson is necessarily Tony Ferguson or they're the same people, but it's kind of similar. There's parallels, and I think Pettis has a good eye for that herky-jerky type of stuff, and he can pick things off very well and shut it down. I think that's what he'll be able to do against Tony Ferguson for the most part on the feet. Tony Ferguson will have the better grappling, but as far as effective grappling, not by much. And if you look at the positions he's most dangerous in with submissions, where he's been able to get finishes with those darts and maybe some triangle chokes and stuff like that, I don't see those opportunities being presented unless he can hurt Pettis on the feet first. He has to hurt Pettis, has gained respect, maybe drop him, maybe rock him, something. It's not just going to be just pressure alone going to cause Pettis to give up his neck, or pressure alone going to cause Pettis to take him down and end up in some guard or something. Even if Pettis ends up on top, I don't think he's never necessarily going to be too much danger in Ferguson's guard. Striking, I give a good margin to Pettis, and the same margin of advantage in the speed as well for Pettis. This will be a good fight that I look forward to predicting and watching when the time comes. So that's about all I got to say. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.